from Petaluma High School. It's varsity girls basketball, the Petaluma Trojans, and the Napa Grizzlies. And a very good evening, everyone. I'm Griffin Epstein. Bo Miller on camera here tonight as Trojan Live brings you the penultimate game of the varsity girls basketball regular season. And it's a huge game for Petaluma, mainly because of what they did on Tuesday night. A historic victory for Petaluma as they knocked off Casa Grande by 5 points for Petaluma's first victory in varsity girls basketball over its crosstown rival in 10 years. If you missed that game, it is currently on our YouTube channel, so I would advise checking it out. It was a thriller over on the east side, but now can Petaluma turn from that game? They have back-to-back victories for only the second time all year and build some momentum towards the end of the season against a very good Napa Grizzlies squad that has already beaten them twice this year. The Grizzlies knocked off Petaluma in an early VVAL affair in Napa by 13 points. These teams also played in late November up in a tournament in Santa Rosa. Napa won that one by 7. However, Petaluma is playing its best ball of the season right now. And even though Napa has some experience and is right now currently sitting even in VVAL at 5-5. The Trojans think they've got a good shot to win tonight and a good shot to win on Monday in their senior night. Big implications as well for both teams here from this Petaluma High School gym. Both are on the edge of a VVAL postseason appearance and an NCS postseason appearance. Petaluma 2 games from reaching 500 if they can win their last 2 games of the year. They have already qualified for NCS, but they're on the edge of whether they get selected to go to the NCS playoffs. Very similar for Napa and their division in Division 1. And for the Trojans, they must win tonight if they hope to qualify for the VVAL tournament. Napa is right in the thick of things for qualifying for that tournament next week. So a huge game for both sides. Will Petaluma use its momentum from one of the biggest victories this decade in girls basketball history? You worry about the Trojans maybe being a little bit tired, maybe still having a little bit of a hangover after such a big victory. They're going to have to be on their A game tonight to beat a team they've lost twice before. Let's listen in to PA announcer Michael Baraballs.
Grizzlies and your Petaluma Trojans. At this time, we'll meet the starters. First one is the Grizzlies. A junior, number 20, Faith Bartlett.
Do you want me to? Griffin.
Harvey Johnson. Another junior, number 25, Anna Chislata. A sophomore, number 32, Daisy Armstrong Brown. And a senior, number 33, Sienna Young. Napa is coached by Darcy Ward, assisted by Michelle Lewis. And now we'll see the starters for the Trojans. A senior, number 10, Kylie Page. Another senior, number 25, Lily Navazzoli. A senior, number 33, Cassidy Bacon. A junior, number 40, Sheree Erica. And a sophomore, number 44, Rose Nevin.
So there was the starting lineups for Napa and Petaluma. You're going to not hear the national anthem, but you will see the players stand for it. And after the national anthem, we'll have basketball. is the national anthem. Petaluma and Napa ready to go here from the Petaluma High School gym. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday night, about half full. It's not the energy environment Petaluma had in their victory over Casa on Tuesday, so they're going to have to bring some of their own energy to this ball game tonight, especially against the Napa team that so far has had their number this year. Petaluma 11-13 overall, Napa 14-10 overall. As we're underway, the Grizzlies will win the tip, but they're going to try it again. Grizzlies in the blue with the gold piping, Petaluma in the white with the purple piping. 4 quarters of 8 minutes here tonight. Trojans 3-7 in VVAL, Napa 5-5. The Grizzlies currently sitting in a tie for 3rd place with Justin Sienna in VVAL. Petaluma in a tie for 5th place. They win back-to-back, though. They could very much finish as high as 3rd as Aracat starts off the night with a 3-pointer. That is exactly how you want to start the evening after a big win where you have to be worried about a hangover by a big 3 by your best player. Aracat has been big against the Grizzlies so far. Air ball by Carly Johnson. Aracat knows many of these Grizzlies players from playing club hoops as Bacon drives to the hoop and lays it in. Quickly 5-0. And that was almost like a Greg Popovich-esque timeout by Darcy Ward. Very quickly deciding to stop things, call a timeout. The clock is off by 1 minute, so that will also have to be clarified, but the Trojans, a very hot start to this one. Mentioned Aracat, she knows many of these Napa players from a club team, so she's always motivated to play the Grizzlies, and team's previous 2 encounters, Aracat led Petaluma both times with 16 and 19 points respectively. They don't charge a timeout. The stoppage was for the clock, just subtracting a minute. This Grizzlies offense has been very good against Petaluma, but this Trojans defense has of late played its best basketball of the year. And we talked about the Trojans have been so good, have struggled and been inconsistent so much this year, but they've really improved in their last couple games, coming off back-to-back victories over American Canyon and Casa Grande. And a big part of that has been dominant defense. Even in the loss before that to American Canyon, the Crushers, or their loss to Vintage, I should say, the Crushers only scored 39 points. Previously, they had scored 50. Sloppy pass there by Aracat. 5-2 the score, a minute gone in the first quarter. Petaluma defense averaging 42.88 points allowed per game, but what an effort they had on Tuesday night. The Gauchos could only scored 38 points the whole game. They only had 3 points in the 3rd quarter, which is Petaluma went on its big run to really build a comfortable lead. They led by as much as 11 on Tuesday night. 3 ball off the mark by Maisie Armstrong Brown. She's the leading scorer. Bacon. Aracat. And another offensive board by Rose Nevin, who has turned into a rebounding machine of late for Petaluma. As Aracat, what a drive to the rack. And now there is a timeout by Darcy Ward. Aracat looks ready for this one tonight. There is no slack at all so far from Petaluma. No rust, no hangover. And the Trojans have come out of this one just as hot as they were for the majority of Tuesday night in the victory over the Gauchos. This offense is running smooth running through their junior star and Eric Happ, but everyone's getting involved. And we talked about offensive rebounding a lot. If you've watched our broadcast on Tuesday, Petaluma extremely impressive, pulling down extra chances against the Gauchos, which really helped get their offense involved. We saw 2 on that last possession by Rose Nevin. Petaluma had 11 offensive rebounds on Tuesday night in their victory over the Gauchos. We're referencing it a lot, but not only was it such a big victory history-wise for Petaluma, as they hadn't beat Casa all the way since 2009, 13 straight losses, but it was also historic. It was also remarkable how that the Trojans beat a quality team of Casa, a team that had only lost 1 game in VVAL and was previously tied for first in the Vine Valley. Casa had basically been unstoppable. They hadn't lost a VVAL game in over a month before Petaluma beat them on Tuesday. It was by far the best victory of the year for the Trojans in terms of caliber. Petaluma really hadn't beaten anyone very good all year long. The Trojans have gotten close with some good teams, but they really haven't been able to win. Excellent ball movement of Jacopi. She thought that one was going down, but she nearly pulled down her own rebound anyways. And Napa unable to corral it, so it will be a second chance for Petaluma. Taylor Jacopi, 23 points on Saturday in Petaluma's 66-57 victory over American Canyon in overtime. Not that time either for Jacopi. Hip foul called on the Trojans, their second team foul. Foul on Pate. 7-4, Petaluma leads. 4:46 remaining and counting in this first quarter, live from the Petaluma High School gym. Sienna Young, the senior, this very experienced Napa team, lays it in for her first points of the evening. Cut the lead to 1. Trojans opened up on a 7-2 run. Darcy Ward called timeout. Napa has responded. Excellent fight, though, so far by Petaluma. Fighting for extra chances, giving themselves opportunities. Petaluma's been cold shooting so much of the year, but if the Trojans can get offensive chances, it really helps your offense get in rhythm. Halfway through this first quarter, 7-6 Petaluma leads. Spinning, turning, Young couldn't finish. Grizzlies so far able to get some chances inside. Petaluma's going to need to clean that up. 3-ball, Pate off the mark. The Grizzlies are coming off a 55-44 victory over American Canyon on Tuesday. Saturday night, they had a rough one, a double overtime loss as the 3-ball is good from Jenna Baker. Grizzlies lost in double overtime to their big rival Vintage, 61-56, the big game. Second time this year they blew a lead to the rival Crushers. Petaluma turns it over. Excellent ball movement the other way. Napa can't finish. Coach John Rashin's going to call timeout. Momentum on Napa's side. Trojans came out hot shooting to start, but since then cooled down. Head coach Darcy Ward and this very experienced Napa team knows how to go on the road and win games. Not a surprise to see them quickly respond to Petaluma's hot start. Five seniors, seven returners on this Napa team. They're not short of experience, and last year Napa had a losing record and very storied program in Napa. That was only the third time in Darcy Ward's 15 years as head coach for the Grizzlies that they had not made the postseason. This year they're on the edge again, but they have a much better record than last year when they had a losing record. They were 10-16 last year. They're gonna already well surpass that this year, 14-10. Weinberg got it taken away from her, and the Grizzlies getting more aggressive, forcing some turnovers. And they go in transition. Petaluma cannot afford turnovers, especially the ones that get easy buckets for Napa. Ayakapi stops the run and lays it in. Badly needed for Petaluma. Napa's 9-0 run comes to a close. 11-9, the Grizzlies lead by 2. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Hard foul and one. What a finish. Carly Johnson. Probably the best player on Napa. She's only a junior, but the starting point guard for the Grizz had 18 points on Saturday night in their loss to Vintage to lead them in scoring. Last year as a sophomore, she was a Napa County Player of the Year finalist. Trojans are going to need to slow her down if they want to get their first victory over Napa this year. The Grizzlies take it away again. Bacon forcing the jump ball. Arrow will point towards Napa. Turnovers have been the story here. A big reason that's been Petaluma has a losing record is the turnover bug. Trojans have struggled at times to take care of the ball. It was not an issue. And what a block by Bacon. It was not an issue for most of Tuesday night against Casa Grande until the fourth quarter when the Gauchos really ramped up their press. But here Napa has put a little half-court press, been pretty aggressive, and it's worked. Jenna Baker hits her second three, and suddenly the lead is 7. Aracat can't finish in the lane. And a great job by Napa to clear by the Grizzly press, driving to the rack and fouled. Sienna Young will head to the line for 2, and the Grizzlies have been aggressive early, both defensively and offensively, and it has worked out in their favor. 15th foul already on Petaluma, and Napa does not have any fouls yet in their book. These teams played twice previously. Napa won the first affair all the way back in November 30th. $60-53 in the semifinals of the Gold Rush shootout at Piner. Trojans actually shot well there, but it was the Napa offense that was the difference as Aracat turns the ball over. And Petaluma's, after 7 quick points in the first 2 minutes, is only 2 in part because they've barely been able to bring the ball up court. Second time around these teams faced in Napa Saturday night a couple weeks ago. Grizzlies came away with the W 52-39. That one was a lot more ugly, much more defensive. But Petaluma turned over the ball a lot in that one. However, Napa is hitting their outside shots, And they have a 10-point lead. Bacon has an open lane. That will cut the lead to 8. Much needed for the Trojans. 15 seconds left. Shot clock turned off. All the way to the rack is Young. And the Trojans are going to need to find a way to stop the drives to the paint by the Grizzlies, because it is too easy offensively right now for the blue and gold. The Grizzlies are just finding their best players, making a couple cuts, driving to the rack, and it's easy as pie offense for Napa. They've already put up 20 points in this first quarter. They certainly have been hot shooting, unlikely to maintain it. But the Trojan defense, we mentioned from the open, has been so good, it's going to need to step back up to the level they've been playing at for about the last week. Over and back is called on Ericat. 6.4 remaining in the first quarter. So Napa will have to go quickly here. Baker's already at 2. That one is short. That will end the first quarter. It's the Napa Grizzlies 21, the Petaluma Trojans 11. Well, the Trojans came out, didn't look like they had a hangover at all, opened the game on a 7-2 run, but one of the more experienced coaches in the North Bay, in Darcy Ward, called a timeout late into her team, and they responded, especially offensively. They picked things up in a flurry, drives to the rack, outside shooting. Everything was going there offensively for Napa, and the Trojans are going to need to make some adjustments, shut down those drives to the rack, start doubling the best Napa players, but also can't leave them wide open for three-pointers, because there are some very talented seniors on this Napa team that can shoot it. And offensively, it's pretty similar for Petaluma. You can't turn over the ball. Coach John Ratchet has talked about it all year long. We're going to win games if we can make shots and not turn the ball over. And Petaluma was good the first 2 minutes. No turnovers, 7 points. Next 6 minutes, 4 points. They probably turned the ball over almost 10 times. Napa installed its press. Poor passing decisions by the Trojans really costing them. Petaluma needs to settle down, focus in, and remember what has gotten them here the last 2 games. Smart basketball and not turning the ball over. The Trojans are going to turn over the ball the rate they did in the first. There is no way they're going to win this game. Ericat, Petaluma's going to need her, and she hits another one from downtown. Hot start for Ericat. She's got 8 points to lead Petaluma. Ericat coming off a 13-point game on Tuesday night. She averages over 15 points per game. Much better defense that time for Petaluma. Armstrong Brown's 3 was off. Grizzlies' leading score has been limited, but there's been other options. Ericat back to the well. 10 points for the junior. Ericat scored 19 plus 8 times this season already. So far on pace to do it. She can get hot, and the Petaluma offense can really run through her. As Napa will get the bounce. Sophia Brandon hits her second shot of the evening. The 5'3" senior extends the lead. Nevin left wide open. Darcy Ward might have let out an expletive at her Napa players there. She was furious. And I mentioned it when she called the first timeout. It was a Greg Popovich-like timeout. That one was too. Instant mistake there by Napa defensively. She wanted to lay into her players. There might be one center on Napa who's going to be getting the wrath from Darcy Ward in this break. But the Trojans cut it to 6 and a much better start offensively to the second quarter. Napa's press really gave Petaluma issues, but the Trojans able to settle down here. If Petaluma also can play better defense, it's going to be much harder for Napa to settle into that press. Off makes, you can set up a full court press, be pretty comfortable with it. You practice that, but you pull down a board, push it up quick. Napa might not be able to settle into their press. So good defense can lead to offensive advantages for Petaluma here tonight going forward. Appreciate all our viewers tuning in, and feel free to leave a comment in the live chat, just like Napa Grizzlies fan Vince O'Kelly did. Any questions, comments, concerns for me or the game or Petaluma High School, we'd be happy to answer. Napa leading 23-17 here, live from the Petaluma High School gym. VVAL girls basketball, clock down to 3. Desperation is a little bit too strong from Johnson. And a nice job by the Trojans to get it up quick and not worry about the Napa press. Jacopi was fouled. There's plenty of options on this Petaluma offense as they've developed over the course of the year. They're not turning over the ball over. They will be able to score with Napa, no doubt about it. Trojans did an excellent job on Tuesday night spreading the wealth around. They had 3 players score 6 points to go with Ericat's 13. Bacon, Jacopi, and Nevin all had 6 on Tuesday night. Petaluma's 5-point victory over rival Casa Grande. Ericat with the steal. She is doing it all early. Nevin working hard, and the foul. Rose Nevin, the sophomore, started the year looking like an underclassman. She's blossomed in to Petaluma's reliable post player. I wouldn't call her a star just yet, but she is on her way to that level. Nevin unable to convert the 3-point play, but the lead has been cut to 4. Napa's led by as much as 10. Trojans have led by as much as 5. 3 ball is good. Charlotte Gerard, the junior shooting guard, extends the lead to 7. And Petaluma lucky enough to turn it over there. Foul called on the Grizzlies. Foul on Johnson, but only the 13th foul on Napa. Petaluma with 6, so the Grizzlies will be shooting the 1-on-1 bonus the rest of the way in the first half. Another risky pass, and it will be off Ericat. Pivotal game for both sides. Napa currently projected by Max Prep 16th in NCS Division 1. They are right on the edge for qualifying for an NCS playoff position, as is Petaluma in Division 2, currently projected as an 18 seed. 3 ball is good. Gerard back to back, and the Napa hot outside shooting continues. Nevin trying to take things into her own hands, but she's out of control. This Grizzly offense has played a lot of the night like their feet's on fire, but it's worked. Quick drive to the right, quick kicks. They have not exhausted much of the shot clock, but they've found all sorts of open lanes, and it has resulted in a bounty of early points. Both teams have qualified for the NCS playoffs, but the NCS committee, which a week from Sunday will make a decision on who goes in, what seed stays Petaluma ball, will especially look at these last couple games as very vital towards deciding who's in and who's not. And both teams so important to be able to play in the postseason. Martin. Ericat has already had a big night. High arcing shot doesn't go that time. Nevin pulled down another rebound, and she'll head to the line for 2. Already the 4th rebound for Rose Nevin of the night. 5'8" sophomore, tallest player on Petaluma. She's the tallest player on the court, either team. 2nd in rebounding for the Trojans. 12 rebounds on Tuesday night, and Petaluma's historic 45-38 victory over Casa Grande. Averaging 6.5 rebounds per game. Good defense by Petaluma. Napa just likes to run the court and go. That time Young was unable to finish in a forest of purple and white. Petaluma pushing it up, but it's taken away again. Trojans still need to be smarter with the basketball. Too many turnovers are costing them. Zone defense for Petaluma, trying to find the key to slowing down this Napa offense. They certainly haven't done it so far. Grizzlies have really torn apart this Petaluma zone defense both times they played. 60 points by Napa the first time around, 52 the second time. Shot clock down to 5. Jumper is short by Johnson. Arakat has the rebound. She's thrown to the ground. That will be a foul on Armstrong Brown. Half-filled stands for this one tonight. Relatively quiet atmosphere compared to the last couple days. Petaluma sports, and 5 varsity matchups in 5 different sports against Petaluma's rival Casa Grande. Fans are by no doubt tired out, but we're still here, and the girls basketball team with such a vital game here tonight for their NCS hopes, VVAL hopes. Well, Tuesday might be their biggest victory of the season, and likely will be. A couple more victories will really leave a strong taste in their mouth of a successful year. And a chance to get back to 500, too. 11-13 right now. A victory tonight and a victory Monday night, which will be live streaming their senior night game against Sonoma Valley. They'd be back to 500. Arakat driving on the ground, and a jump ball. Exceptional effort by the Petaluma junior Serena Arakat. She's been all over the court tonight. Diving on the ground. Scoring for the Trojans, 10 points. Couple blocks, couple steals. She had 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. A couple with 13 points on Tuesday night. Arrow will stay with Napa. Rejected. Kylie Pate sends the Grizzly back. As Catarizoli cradled the ball, it's a foul this time on Young. Very aggressive, very competitive Napa team, and they bring a lot of energy to the court. Our head coach, Darcy Ward, brings a lot of that energy to them. Very vocal, very loud coach. Weinberg's 3 is a little bit too strong. Foul on Temple. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Napa, so they'll head to the line. There's different coaching styles. Every coach has a different style. Darcy Ward definitely takes the tough love strategy. I was at Petaluma's loss to Napa back on January 12th, and at one point, Grizzly didn't box out. Ward screamed at the Grizzly, "That was horrible defense. You can do so much better than that. You're embarrassing." Napa was leading pretty comfortably at that point. It was late in the 4th quarter. The coaches will lay into this Napa team. They have a strong program. Between 2013-14 season, the 2015-16 season, Napa won 3 straight Monticello Empire League championships. So the ball nearly takes down all the equipment. The coaching style has worked, no doubt. Napa has already hit 30, and we still have 2 minutes to go in the first half. Into Ayakapi and a lot of traffic. It falls to Ayers. Arakat in the lane through contact. Something she's never been afraid of. 12 points for the junior. Only 5 games this year when Arakat has not reached double digits. Can add another one here in the penultimate game of the regular season for both squads. The ball movement so excellent by Napa. Unable to finish was Yag, but it stays Grizzly ball. That's just so hard to stop. Your zone defense can be tight in the screws, but the way Napa swings around the ball, your head's got to be on a swivel, ready to react to every move. That one was shot behind the backboard by Faith Bartlett. A little off that time. It's in part, Napa's has so much experience. They have great team chemistry and good depth as well to play a lot of players. 7 varsity returners from last year and 5 seniors. A Jacoby's 3 rims in. The sophomore has exploded the second half of the year for Petaluma to become a huge factor. The Trojans have cut the lead to 6. Ayers running the floor, laying it in. What a play by the sophomore, Cami Ayers. She had a huge night on Tuesday night, providing exceptional energy. The junior has been another player for Petaluma that over the last couple games has really increased her level of play and been a big part of back-to-back victories for the Trojans. Under a minute as Ericat's shot is blocked. Napa's taken a 10-point lead twice in this one, but the Trojans have hung around. Catarazzoli. A Jacoby just hit one. Not that time. Petaluma pulls down another offensive rebound. That has been a huge reason the Trojans have hung around, as that one will be stuck. And in boys basketball, often there's a player that can knock it out, but here they're going to need some assistance from a spare one. Trojans average 8 offensive rebounds per game, but they had 11 on Tuesday night, and I'm pretty sure they're going to surpass 8 offensive rebounds tonight as well. Trojans have a height advantage, and they've started to use that over the course of the year. Foul called on Ayers. 1-and-1 bonus for Napa. They'll head back to the line. It's Bartlett. Rims out. Catarazzoli doing a nice job rebounding it, but you do not want to dribble into a corner, and she made that poor decision to do that. Coach Ratchin will have to use the timeout. 13.9 seconds remaining in the second, and it's Napa 30, Petaluma 26. If you're just joining us, I'm Griffin Epstein here live from the Petaluma High School gym. It's the penultimate game of the regular season in the Vine Valley Athletic League for both Napa and Petaluma, and a vital game for both as they come near the end of league play and look towards potentially playing in the postseason. Neither has clinched an NCS playoff berth. Neither has clinched a VVAL tournament berth. A win tonight for both would go a very long way towards that. Napa has already beaten Petaluma twice this year, trying to make it a 3-game sweep, while the Trojans, coming off their best victory of the season on Tuesday night, their first victory over rival Casa Grande in 10 years, are hoping to make it 3 victories in a row. Catarazzoli to Ericat. The free throw jumper is good, and that is the end of the first half. Ericat has 14 points to pace Petaluma, an exceptional start for the junior. And after Napa extended the lead to 10, the Trojans chipped right back. And it's Napa 30, Petaluma 28 at the end of 16 minutes here from the Petaluma High School gym. Well, a very entertaining first half by no doubts and very well played on both sides. We worried about a Trojan hangover tonight, and there was no such thing. And head coach John Ratchet, in his third year for Petaluma, must talk to his squad about focusing for this game, putting the things they learned from Tuesday night and their huge victory, which was so emotional. There was tears after the game. I'd never seen the players more excited on this team. It's going to be the game that defines this team. But nonetheless, it was a game that you had to learn from and play. We got to continue playing like this, but not something you can reminisce on with just one day off in your schedule. Petaluma needed to turn on and focus on this game against Napa, and they have absolutely done that. They started out on a 7-2 run. However, the Grizzlies came back. Darcy Ward called an early timeout, and Napa responded with a 9-0 run of their own. Napa would extend the lead to 10 by the end of the first quarter, as they really were fantastic offensively in the first 21 points. Napa was hitting threes from the outside, but they were also driving inside and giving themselves a lot of opportunities inside the paint. Petaluma did a nice job in the second quarter making some adjustments defensively, and not a surprise, Napa did cool down. There was no way they were going to continue the pace they had in that first quarter. That translated well for Petaluma on the offensive end. The Trojans struggled after they scored 7 points in the first 2 minutes. They only scored 4 points in the next 6 because the Trojans got the turnover bug, something I've struggled with a young team all year long. Petaluma could barely get the ball up court, but with better defense, Napa struggled to get even set in their press. Petaluma was able to get it up, and they were definitely smarter with the ball even in the half court, and the Trojans were able to get into a rhythm, get themselves some opportunities. They cut the lead to 3. Napa extended it to 10 with a couple threes, but the Trojans again locked down defensively and have cut the lead right back to 2 points as we head to the second half. All the credit for Petaluma for hanging in there. They could have put their heads down after Napa made a run, and especially after a big victory on Tuesday, but they understand the importance of this one, and they're up against a good team in Napa, but the Trojans absolutely have the capabilities of beating this Grizzly team, a team that has beat them twice already this season. First in the Gold Rush Shootout Tournament in the semifinals up at Pioneer way back in November, and just 2 weeks ago in Napa in a 13-point victory. There it was pretty tight at the half. It was a low-scoring game. Napa led by 5 at the half. The Grizzlies went on a big run in the third, and it basically put that game away for Napa to get them a big league victory. Be interesting to see how both teams come out of the locker room for this game, what adjustments they make on both sides, especially with Darcy Ward, who's one of the best coaches in the business. She's got something up her sleeve in the second half to make some adjustments and maybe get this Napa offense back in rhythm. They were so hot in the first quarter, not as much in the second. The Trojan defense will see if they can keep it up. Much better second quarter. They've been so good the last couple games. They're looking for their 3rd straight victory tonight, something Petaluma has not done all season long. They've only put twice, even won back-to-back games at all this year. Finally really getting into a rhythm, getting some momentum, and right at the perfect time at the end of the year would be huge for the Trojans. We've already referenced numerous times the big game, big win for Petaluma on Tuesday night, their first victory over Casa Grande since 2009, their first victory over their league rival in 13 years. And if you missed that game, weren't at it, saw the highlights maybe on Trojan Live, it is now posted and up on our YouTube channel. The full game, we have play-by-play analysis, and we have some interviews at the end, which are also a lot of fun. Highly advised going on and checking out the Casa Grande Petaluma varsity girls basketball Egg Bowl game. It was a super fun game if you're a Petaluma fan. The Trojans played their best game of the season, their biggest victory of the season. It was a fantastic atmosphere at the Ed Jacoby Gym over on the east side. And it was emotional after crying for Petaluma, but they played with more energy than I'd seen them play with all year long. They wanted it more than the Gauchos, and it really showed. They were very impressive in their victory over Casa to get their second straight victory and finally get the monkey off their back. You don't see it much in the Casa-Petaluma rivalry where one side dominates to the extent that we've seen in girls basketball, where Casa Grande with head coach Dan Sack had really just controlled Petaluma. 13 straight victories. He knew how to beat Petaluma, and finally, the curse you could call it, the Trojans were able to break. And it just was so important for the program to finally break that curse and know they can beat the Gauchos. They can beat Petaluma for Casa. And the Gauchos, which are arch nemesis, aren't certainly the best girls basketball team in Casa, and it shows Petaluma is back. They're maybe not at the level they were in the early 2000s under head coach Doug Johnson when they were runners-up in Northern California state champions, but Petaluma is certainly back to a much higher level. They're competing with good Gaucho squads, and with a victory tonight and a victory on Monday, they would finish at 500 both on their season in the regular season and 500 in a very, very good VVAL after last year's undefeated FCL tournament championship. It's also a very young Trojan team as well. Got two underclassmen providing big impacts in Jacopi and Nevin, who's starting, and a lot of inexperience on this Petaluma team. They only returned 2 starters. Michael, you want to join me real quickly? Michael Barabol, who is the Director of Basketball Operations for the... Oh, we don't have a chair right now.
That's all right.
It's over there if you want to grab it.
I'll sneak it right here. I'm only here
All
for
right.
a couple minutes. There. Sneak in. All right, here we go.
Oh. All right, Michael Barabol joining me here, the Director of Basketball Operations for Petaluma Basketball. And Michael, really good first half here so far.
Yeah, they were able to pick up the pressure in the second quarter. Hit a couple shots, which was big. Shireen's just a bulldog out there. She's doing her thing. Key shots. Cami Ayers had a nice layup. Taylor Yockby hit a 3. They can play with this team, and Petaluma's, their confidence is riding high. They beat American Canyon on the road. They just beat their rivals, Casa on the road, so they're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, speaking of that Casa game, that was such a crazy game. It's such an important victory for Petaluma basketball, the first in 10 years. How do you think the Trojans were finally able to beat their East Side rival that they've been cursed against? They could not beat.
I think what they had was more of a mental thing against not beating Casa. And I think they just went there and they just played. And they played basketball, whatever the score was, that's what it was. So, and Casa didn't play particularly well, but Petaluma played well.
Yeah.
And that Petaluma picked up their pressure, which is so intense and so hard to get through. That famous Casa pressure, and then they go back into that 2-3 zone. But they hit key shots. Cassidy Bacon had a great game. She had a nice, she had a nice move on one of them. So, it's good that they got their way and it kind of gets the monkey off their back. And then next year maybe they can get both of them.
Yeah, should be interesting. What's the key here for the last 16 minutes of this one?
I think just staying composed in that pressure. You saw Kat Rizzoli get trapped in the corner there, and Coach Ratchin called the timeout, which is good. They just got to stay composed and stay within themselves, and they'll be fine.
Should be interesting. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We've got just under a minute left before the start of the second half. Between Petaluma and Napa here on this Thursday night. We're live here from the Petaluma High School gym. Napa leading by 2. They've led the majority of the way. Petaluma trying to get a monstrous victory tonight to make it 3 straight and go into their senior night on Monday night against Sonoma Valley. Chance to get to back 500. If they won their next 2 games, I think they'd almost be assured a spot in the NCS playoffs in Division 2. It would be a low seed, but it'd mean they could get to at least continue their play for another week and possibly make it into the VVAL tournament, which will be next Wednesday, the first round, the championship on Friday. Nevin and the foul. 4 points for Rose Nevin, her second three-point play of the night. The sophomore with a monstrous game so far tonight. Rebounding has been huge for her, but she's doing it all over the court. Defensively, she's so vital, too, with her height. And with her in there, it can be very challenging to drive inside. Napa got some early opportunities, but Nevin has really locked in on that paint. You see it here. And the Grizzlies have been forced to shoot from the outside where they've been cold of late. Petaluma's first lead since the first quarter. Shot clock running down to 3. Bacon takes it away. She is rejected. A ferocious block by Johnson, who then threw it a little bit too far for Anna Gillesta. Napa's going to back off the press here. Interesting decision. This young Petaluma team started to show that they could break it a little bit better for getting adjusted to it. Catarazzoli off the mark. Bacon the length of the hoop, cutting Catarazzoli. Closed down by 4 Grizzlies, but not before she's fouled. 4 seniors on Petaluma, only 3 of them really play. And it's not a lot of senior experience to rely on. It makes each and every one so vital. Pate and Bacon, the other 2, also on the floor as well. Catarazzoli, a 3-year varsity player. Very athletic. The SCL champion individually last year in girls golf, and this year the VVAL champion in girls golf individually, but also helped the team to an SCL championship last year and Petaluma's first ever VVAL pennant in any sport back in the fall. Excellent defense, Nevin again, as Young just tried to throw, or Armstrong Brown just tried to throw it off her, and Young hit it right back off her. Bacon, not a smart pass, lucky to get away with it. It's a lighter press by Napa. They're pressing up near that half-court line, which is less risky to get burned on the offensive end and leave a wide-open player, but it also can still be very effective. So that's the adjustment Darcy Ward's made, but Petaluma's made some adjustments of their own as Catarazzoli is left wide open. The lead is 4, so the Trojans have opened this half, I should say, on a 6-0 run. Cat somehow got out of that fandango as Pate is short. Petaluma team coming out with great energy out of the locker room. It looked like they wanted even more than they did in the first half, and they played well in the first half with good energy. And that when that want translates to poise and precision, it's a dangerous thing. Bacon, not that time, but Nevin is just a beast right now. Pate, that one won't go either. Petaluma's getting some great looks. All the momentum, Cat somehow got the steal. She got her own rebound. I don't know how Cat pulled that down. She'll try a 3. She's off the mark. 3 good looks from downtown. None of them fell for Petaluma. That's all you can ask for. It's not a good shooting Trojan team either by any means. 31% from the field they average. Only 19% from behind the arc. Great rebound by Young, but she couldn't finish. Catarazzoli stepped on the line. The Grizzlies are ice cold coming out of the locker room. 21 points in the first quarter, but only 9 in the second, and they are yet to score almost halfway through this third. This Trojan defense only allows 42 points per game. 10 steals as well. There's a steal to add to their total tonight. Bacon lays it in, and the foul. Physicality by Petaluma tonight has been remarkable. Young called for the foul, and Bacon will try to convert the old-fashioned three-point play. The lead is 7. A 9-0 run by Petaluma. What a third quarter. Napa badly needs something to get back in this one. Hard play there. Trojans got a 2-on-1. Bacon trying to feed Nevin. It was knocked away. This Petaluma team looks in rhythm right now. Very similar, very reminiscent to Tuesday night against Casa Grande, and where their defense totally shut down Casa. They only scored 2 points, and Petaluma went on a 9-0 run in that game to take an 11-point lead. Jump ball. Arrow will point towards Napa. We're seeing very similar things tonight so far through the first 4 minutes of this third. Petaluma is playing like every play is their last. Defensively, totally shutting down the offense. And they're pulling down offensive boards, doing the little things right, not turning the ball over. Everything you can ask for. Sophia Brandon drives, and she's fouled. She'll head to the line for 2. Napa is looking for its first points of this third quarter. Head coach Darcy Ward for Napa in her 16th season. What a program she's built. Napa 14-10 this year, 5-5 in league, including 2 victories over Petaluma. A couple other victories in Sonoma County as well, including over Santa Rosa. That free throw will fall for the first 2 points for Napa. Catarazzoli with a multitude of fakes. Airs from behind the arc. It's short. Offensive board, a Jacopi. She's fouled. And it was a slow start for Napa in their league play. They lost to Justin Sienna and Vintage. Lost to the Crushers pretty badly. But after that, Napa has only lost twice in league play since January 9th. They've won 5 out of their last 7 coming into this one, with victories over the Trojans, American Canyon, Sonoma Valley, Justin Sienna, and the Wolves again. Only 2 losses to Casa Grande in Napa. So Jacopi misses both. Line violation Napa. Jacopi will get a third opportunity. 42-31 loss for Napa at Napa against Casa. And we mentioned the heartbreaking double overtime victory on Saturday night to Vintage, where they fell 61-56, and they had a 10-point lead in the third quarter in that game. Petaluma would like some better free throw shooting. If this one's close, you always look back at the little things. A 9-0 run by Petaluma has given them the lead. Napa ball. Nice fight by Baker with Catarazzoli to win it for the Grizz. Grizzlies ranked 343rd in California. Petaluma 641. Those are purely computer, though. They don't necessarily accurately assess the talent of the team. It does not assess the momentum Petaluma has built late in the season. It's taken a long time for them to piece it all together, much later than Coach John Ratchin would have liked. But they really have finally been able to piece everything together, shoot better, limit the turnovers, do the little things right. The young team, you knew it was going to take a while, and you weren't sure As the season got later and later and the losses mounted up for the Trojans, if it was ever going to come. Petaluma lost 5 league games in a row all the way until Saturday night. But after they only lost a league-leading Vintage by 10, thought maybe the Trojans were finally putting something together. They won in overtime against American Canyon, and then they got the biggest victory, arguably this decade, in Petaluma girls basketball history, defeating Casa on Tuesday night. The Grizzlies are clawing back in this one. Lead's been cut to 3 and a turnover by the Trojans. It's been pretty even scoring for Napa. They filled out the scorer's book. It's not been one girl. They have the depth. But if there is one girl, it's Carly Johnson, the leading scorer for Napa. She had 18 points on Saturday night. She's a spectacular junior who's been pretty limited tonight. That's only 5 points for her. But she hits a huge 3 to tie the game up. Pate off the mark that time. And a foul is called on Ayers. Well, the Trojans got the lead out to 7, and Napa has quickly responded with a 7-0 run. Does Petaluma have an answer? 7 points in the last minute and a half for the Grizzlies after no points in the first 4 minutes. It's all about getting in a rhythm and getting the shooters who you want involved. Here's Johnson. Excellent ball movement. Weinberg pokes it away. Weinberg, the center right now for the Trojans, with Nevin getting a breather. And the junior steps up with a big play. Pate dropped it. 5'8" forward junior, Bella Weinberg. Key height for the Trojans. She'll come out for Lila Bacon, who also can function as the center. So important rebounding-wise, defensively. Can also get your offense involved if they can shoot, as can Nevin. Wide open, but off the mark was Gerard, who's hit 2 threes tonight. Cat double teamed. She's been limited in the third, but Petaluma's found some other options, but they go to her, and the foul. Just the second bucket of the second half for Cat. She had 12 in the first, and she totals 16. She has torched the Grizzlies all 3 times she has played them. As Bacon pulls down the offensive board, that would be Lila Bacon, Cassidy Bacon's younger sister. Cat looked like she was fouled, but no call. Cat had 19 the first time these teams faced, 16 the next time. She very well might surpass that. Mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Cat knows many of these Grizzlies players. She's played with them before. Makes these games all the more important for her. That she plays every game like it is the Super Bowl. Such a hard-working player. Johnson is fouled, but it's on the floor. Johnson thinks it's a shooting foul. She's headed to the line, but she's disappointed to find out it is not. Coach Ward asked, wasn't she shooting? Ref said, no, she was not. And Ward said, well, what's she doing? Armstrong Brown was standing on the line. Other good shooter has been pretty quiet. It's been Baker, Gerard, and Brandon that have had some big shots for Napa from the outside beyond the arc, especially in the second and third quarters, that have helped keep them afloat after an electric start to this one. Lila Bacon gets her first points. Napa's not done a good job rotating inside. There have been some openings there. Nice board pulled down by Brandon. We just talked about her, the 5'3" senior. She's played excellent tonight. She's to the line for 2 more. 38.6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Live here from the Petaluma High School gym. It's a vital game for Napa and Petaluma. The penultimate VVAL game of the season. Both on the precipice of playoff berths. Both trying to get win streaks to end their year. A lot on the line. Both teams have played like it. Differential between shot clock and game clock is 6, but now it's not going to matter. Trojans have averaged 16 turnovers per game. They've done much better against American and Casa in their victories. The Trojans' offense has been best tonight when they haven't turned over the ball. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're getting shots off, you're more likely to score. Shot clock turned off for the Grizzlies. 2-point lead for Petaluma. They went on a 9-0 run to open this quarter. Napa tied it back up with a 7-0 run of their own. Stolen away by Bacon. Knocked out by Armstrong Brown. Only a sophomore, Maisie Armstrong Brown, but she's the starting point guard for the Grizzlies. Only 4 seconds left. Ayers is going to have to shoot one from a mile out or not at all. We've reached the end of 3. It's the Petaluma Trojans 41, the Napa Grizzlies 39. Well, it should be a fantastic fourth quarter in store for us. Both teams have come out tonight with energy. There's been some things to clean up for both sides, but both have improved over the course of the game, just like I think both of these teams have improved over the course of the year. They've kind of all they played at different parts of the year. They opened, and both very early in the year when they first played in the Gold Rush Shootout in November, first couple games of the year, they played a second game kind of halfway through league play, and now at the end of the season, all the screws have been tightened both offensively and defensively. The little things have been cleaned up. The Stars have fully reached the peak, the apex of their game, and we should be in for a classic final 8 minutes here between Petaluma and Napa. And it will be who holds their poise, who plays smarter in these last 8 minutes to decide who has a victory. It's been back and forth. It's been tight. Both teams, I think, at this point have a lot of experience. The Trojans are statistically young, but at this point in the season, they have plenty of experience. They've played in a lot of close games. They have not won a lot of them. That is a major reason the Trojans' record looks like how it is, both in VVAL and overall. Trojans are just 4-8 in games decided by less than 10 points. But the Petaluma's won its last 2 games, both decided by less than 10 points. Foul is called on Napa. Ayers, Ericat, Catarizoli, Pate, and Lila Bacon. The 5 out there for the Trojans. It's Brandon, Bartlett, Johnson, Armstrong, Brown, and Young for Napa. Bacon finds a seam. It sets on the rim and decides to fall. 4 points for Lila Bacon, well past her season average of 1.3 points per game. Tipped away. Trojans have had a bounty of steals tonight, and it's helped slow down what is a very hot shooting Napa team. And another foul on Napa. 7th team foul on the Grizzlies, and that means Petaluma is in the 1-1 bonus. Cami Ayers, the sophomore, the junior, to the line. Petaluma pulls down another offensive rebound. Been a huge storyline tonight. Bacon to a double-teamed Ericat jump ball. Arrow points towards Napa. Petaluma with a victory tonight and a victory on senior night would in all likelihood get a spot in 4th or 3rd place in the VVAL tournament, but they have to win both games. Napa is one of those teams that's tied for third as Ayers drives and is off the mark, along with Justin Siena. Napa plays Casa on Monday. Justin Siena is currently playing Casa, so if the Gauchos can provide a little help to their West Side friends, all likelihood Petaluma will be looking at least tied for fourth or third place. Ericat is fouled and she'll head to the line for two. Justin Siena finishes with vintage. So both Napa and Justin Siena, the two teams Petaluma's trying to catch in VVAL play, have hard schedules remaining, and obviously Petaluma can help hand Napa a loss here tonight. Casa at Justin Siena tonight as well, and Sonoma at American Canyon. Vintage on a bye. They are out front, just needing one more victory to clinch a VVAL title against Justin Siena on Monday night. The Gauchos are a game back at 8-2, courtesy of Petaluma, who knocked the Gauchos off that first place perch. Ericat forces the jump ball. Unbelievable. The Trojans have not shot the ball well from the charity stripe, but sometimes it's worked out for their benefit because they pulled so many offensive rebounds down. The Grizzlies just have been unable to box out. This time it's an over the back on Ericat. 16 foul on Petaluma, so Napa will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. 6:31 left in the fourth. Petaluma leads by 4. If you're just joining us, this has been a good one. Petaluma got off to a hot start. Napa responded, led by 10 twice in the first half. The Trojans open the second half with a 9-0 run to take a lead. The Grizzlies went on a 7-0 run to tie up the game, and since then it's been back and forth. Air ball, but Young was able to pull down the board, and she was fouled. Major reason Petaluma has played better tonight against Napa. Far less turnovers. They had 27 turnovers against Napa the first time they played, 23 tonight. It's not been great ball security tonight, but it's been better for Petaluma. Young hits the first. She lived in Germany last year as a foreign exchange student, but was on varsity previously as a sophomore. Had 8 points on Saturday night against Vintage. Lead cut to 2. A Jacopi. Try to get it into Catarzoli. It's knocked away. Catarzoli has gotten very involved in the offense. She's not really known for that. Only averages 2.3 points per game. She's got 3 points tonight. Petaluma's tried to get her involved. Petaluma's most physical player on the court. Second on the team in free throws. Attempted and made. Trojans just looked a little bit rushed there. Talked about poise. Pate was doubled and she panicked a little bit. Ayers unable to hold on to it. Young battling a little out of control. What a play by Young. Soaring like an eagle to knock it away. The pump fake, and she lays it in. That could have not been more spectacular by Sienna Young. And Napa's putting on the press. Doubling, another turnover. Young on the run again. A right hand will go. This gym starting to get loud, the tension ratcheting up. Offensive foul, moving screen. Both teams in the bonus. That should be free throws, I would believe. They're not going to give it to them. security. Petaluma's got it now across the half court. Oh, Bacon had Caterzoli wide open. It's knocked out. Trojans have 3 timeouts if head coach Sean Ratcham wants to use one. Napa's energy has increased with the press, and it's giving Petaluma some fright. Casa did the same thing in the 4th quarter on Tuesday night, and it made a comfortable lead for Petaluma get very interesting. The Gauchos cut it to 3. Coach Ratcham wants timeout. My goodness, what a finish we have here. 4:55 left here in the 4th quarter, and we are all knotted at 43. Petaluma had great energy early in that 4th quarter, but it is Napa right now with the momentum and with more energy, especially on the defensive end. And even though Napa's been very cold shooting since that 1st quarter, Napa scored 21 points in that 1st quarter. Since then, they've scored 22 points. Their best offense has been forcing turnovers and getting scores like you saw with Young's just a couple minutes ago. Trojans need to be smarter with their passing, break the press, and also if they can play better defense, as soon as you pull down a rebound, Petaluma needs to go. They need to rush the ball up court, and then they can calm down and settle into the rhythm. Because if this Napa press can get set, it's hard for the Trojans to break it. They're not great at breaking the half-court press, and Napa runs it very well. It's an experienced team of 5 seniors and one of the best coaches in the area. They have a good game plan, but if you're Petaluma, you don't want to play right into it. Pate's got to get it in. Dangerous pass to a Jacopi, and it's rejected. Heracat's been much quieter in the 2nd half. Pate, the pump fake. That won't fall. Trojans are ice cold so far in this 4th quarter shooting-wise. That could be the issue. Heracat's not making shots. Petaluma can struggle to generate offense. 3 balls off the mark. Heracat will force the jump ball with Maisie Armstrong-Brown. Arrow will point towards Napa. This has been a physical and fun one. Into Young and fouled. Good inbounds play to Sienna Young, who's exploded in this 4th quarter. A couple steals, a couple huge buckets, and a chance now at the charity stripe to give Napa the lead. Can nearly hit a pinfall in this gym as she misses the first. About 100 fans have made their way out. Only a couple students out tonight for Petaluma. Plenty of community members, though, in attendance, and a small entourage from Napa. They made the 45-minute trip east or west. 1-point lead for the Grizzlies. Such a challenging press to break as the Trojans turn it over again. That did not look like a foul, or called it tight in the 2nd half. Hannah Gisletta, who has no points on the night, will head to the line for 2 vital free throws. Napa trying to go to 6-5. They can potentially secure with 2 victories, 3rd place in VVAL. And Napa's going to be able to set into their press again. Can Petaluma break it? They've really struggled the last couple minutes to get over this press. Pate. Back to Bacon. She swings it forward. And it falls to the senior, who's then fouled. And Trojans got to run into some contact right now. Refs are calling it tight. You're in now the double bonus. Petaluma offense struggling to get the ball up court. Your best offense is free shots from the line. That might be the only chance they're going to get from the hoop. Trojans shoot just 51% from the free throw line. Another offensive board for the Trojans. It was Nevin again. Jump ball. That was an early whistle that time. Napa would have gotten the steal if the ref didn't get a little trigger happy. Halfway to go in this fourth quarter. Rose Nevin, another big board. She's pulled down. She's in double digits again for rebounding. 12 rebounds on Tuesday night against Casa. Erica, no call. The senior had 12 in the first, but only 4 in the second half. Three ball, short. Diving on the ground, Erica gets it away to a Jacopi. Petaluma needs to slow the ball down, show some poise here. And a foul is called, ticky-tack. The Napa plays at a very frantic place. Defensively, they're flying around in their zone. And offensively, they pass the ball very quickly. You don't want to hold the ball for more than 3 seconds in this Napa offense. That can make the other team start to feel very panicked. We've seen that in the fourth. So the pressure's been on. Pate right back to the line. She missed her previous 2, but she sinks her first. The senior co-captain for the Trojans. Splits. Petaluma pulls down another offensive rebound. They seemingly can't stop pulling them down. Pate from downtown. Kylie Pate gives Petaluma the lead by 2. The other end. Napa will get to the line. Gisletta driving the length of the floor. Jacopi, her fourth foul, so she will have to be careful. 5 team fouls, and she's gone. One of Petaluma's best shooters, second on the team in field goal shooting. And the 10th team foul on the Trojans now. Both teams are in the double bonus the rest of the way. So there could be a lot of free throw shooting. That could very much decide it. Gisletta cool under pressure. These free throws continue to allow the press to be set up by Napa. Petaluma is having such a hard time just crossing the timeline. Petaluma gets it ahead to Jacopi. She just lost it. Rushing it there was the sophomore. A big moment for her. And a timeout by Napa head coach Darcy Ward. 2 timeouts remain for both teams. We are tied at 47, 10 team fouls on both teams. It could not be more even right now. The final 2:58 will definitely decide it here in what is turning into a very intense atmosphere here in the Petaluma High School gym. We have emphasized the importance for both teams in this game tonight. A lot on the line for both sides. How will both sides deal with the nerves? Napa just lost a double overtime game on Saturday. Are they feeling the nerves of them? They've lost a couple close games this year. Petaluma, it's really been in their head. They can't win close games. They have lost 3 games by 1 point so far this year, including back-to-back and part of their 5-game losing streak in VVAL. But as we mentioned, back-to-back victories, both in pretty close games. Trojans showed excellent poise in the fourth quarter on Tuesday night in their victory against Casa Grande. Can Petaluma replicate that? They've done a nice job for a lot of tonight replicating our excellent play from Tuesday night. But Napa's had a lot of answers. Wide open, Armstrong Brown can't hit. The Grizzlies were hot in the first quarter from 3. They haven't gotten it since. And Erica will wake up from her second half slumber, driving the length of the floor to give Petaluma the lead. And Ayers will force the jump ball. It's what we talked about. Petaluma pulling down a rebound. They need to run the floor, and they did it that time. They didn't have to worry about an Napa press. The Grizzlies have an answer. We've gone back and forth here in the fourth. Ayers has forced another jump ball. That is outstanding basketball by the junior, Cameron Ayers. Ayers is one of those players. She doesn't show up on the score sheet. Her stats are by no means remarkable. 2.4 points per game, 1 steal per game, 1.7 rebounds per game. But forcing back-to-back jump balls with under 3 minutes left to give your team the ball is not something that will go in the score sheet, yet it can decide a game, especially in something that's so close. Cat just trying to force it to Nevin. Trojans need to be a little bit smarter. Ball passing. Wide open three. It's pure. Anna Gisletta. 7 points all in this fourth quarter for the senior. Bacon trying to take it away. Jump ball, Napa ball. So Gisletta had a foot on the line is what they're ruling, so we are tied at 49. Under 2. Turned over. Bacon will finish. Cassidy Bacon with a huge lay-in. The senior's got 6. She's provided Cree leadership and poise throughout this one. Nearly took that ball away. 3 ball is short. And a pushing foul. Sienna Young, who's had a big fourth quarter, called for the foul. And Petaluma in the double bonus gets 2 free throws. Fourth foul on Young, too. She'll need to be careful. So Rose Nevin, the sophomore, will head to the line. A huge moment in her varsity career. Late, the twilight of Petaluma season and the twilight of this tight game. Big that Nevin is at the free throw line. She can't rebound. Petaluma in this fourth quarter has pulled down every single rebound after a free throw miss. This time they do not pull down a board. The lead is still 2 for the Trojans. 90 seconds remain. A foul called on Cat going for the steal. That was tight there. Kind of like a football play. Do you get to the ball? Do you reach the player before the ball was there? And that time they said she did reach the player just before the ball arrived. It was bang, bang, though. Napa's free throw shooting has been excellent. They are showing their experience. 7 returners on this team, over half the team returning from last year when they had a losing record. Young splits, so the lead is 1 for Petaluma. You don't want to dribble into a corner, which is exactly what Ayers did. There's a pile of white and blue on the sideline. A lot to uncover there, but the refs say Napa ball. Head coach Sean Ratchin doesn't agree with that. I'm not really sure how they decided whose ball it was. There was just players diving everywhere. Rejected by Nevin. A huge block by Rose Nevin. And Cat will rush it forward. She overthrew Bacon. Oh, she had the senior driving to the rack, but just a little too tall. The adrenaline maybe a little bit too much. Petaluma won in overtime on Saturday. Napa lost in overtime on Saturday. Both of these teams already played in some tight moments in the last week. Jumper no good for Neal. I'm not sure that's who Napa wanted shooting there. but Nevin turned the ball over. Petaluma has 2 timeouts, 2 with their trap. We're under a minute to go. Napa still trailing by 1. Out of control, it won't go. Loose. What is the call here? A jump ball. And then the Trojans were lucky on that. They could have easily called a foul on Nevin. 45 seconds remain. Petaluma has a timeout if they can't clear the ball. They need to be aware of that, but they do have to clear in 10 seconds. Pate. She will now clear it. Timeout is called. Very smart by head coach John Ratchin. We've seen some poor clock management at times with this Petaluma varsity girls basketball team, but right there was not one of them. Ingenious by head coach John Ratchin. Pate able to clear, and that will mean Petaluma will get the ball in the front court and a chance to set up their offense, but also take some time off the clock. There's a 14-second differential between shot clock and game clock, and with the Trojans leading by 1 here, you definitely want to run some clock. You have to manage not running it down too much where it doesn't get off a quality shot, however. I think for Petaluma, you got to give it into the hands of the best player, and right now that's Shereen Arakat. She hasn't had her best second half, but she's a physical player, and they've called a lot of fouls in this game. Petaluma would love to get Arakat to the line, who's also their best free-throw shooter. Got to show poise here on both sides, and you know Napa's likely going to press here and try to double team and potentially force a turnover. They could also think about fouling as well if they get it to the right girl. You don't want to foul Arakat or Jacopi, who are good free-throw shooters, but everyone else on the Trojans, not great free-throw shooting. Petaluma's free-throw shooting has been mediocre in this 4th quarter. Pate's got to get it in. 5 seconds is called. Wow, that is not what you want coming out of a timeout. So never mind about running clock. Petaluma never gets the ball inbounds. Excellent defensively by Napa. And the Grizz turned it over. Neal could not handle the pass. Too much mustard. Petaluma has 1 timeout. Napa's going to press here. 25.9 seconds remaining. They go on to Nevin. Loose. Nevin diving on the floor. Gets it to Bacon. Foul called on the Trojans. Where was there a foul? I have no idea. And Hannah Gisletta will head to the line for 2 free throws. She has already made 4 free throws. She's perfect from the line in the 4th. But none bigger than these, and it showed. Petaluma still has 1 timeout. Napa has 2. Second try for Gisletta. This time it's pure. Napa will press. They get it into Arakat. Ayers. No call. Napa ball. This press has been hard to break. Napa 15.3 seconds left and a great opportunity for them to win this game. Oh my goodness. Well, my mic just went dead there momentarily at this vital moment. It's Petaluma ball if you didn't hear, and man, that ball was off Shereen Arakat. The refs missed one there. The 3 ball was no good from Sienna Young, who's been brilliant in this 4th quarter with 4.9 seconds remaining. Petaluma ball. no timeouts remaining, the Trojans have really struggled to clear the ball. But even if they can't get a shot off here, you have to make sure not to at least turn the ball over and give Napa an opportunity. Send this to overtime if necessary. And Trojans can try another 4 minutes of overtime there. You can look for the home run pass, but that's risky. It can get a turnover and give Napa back the ball. And the Grizzlies can shoot the 3. Kylie Payton, the great senior inbounder. Gotta get it in. It's taken away. Gisletta at the buzzer. She is. There's no time left. The game is over. Oh my goodness. That's exactly what we said Petaluma couldn't do. Turn over the ball. Gisletta had a huge fourth quarter. And Napa will win this hard-fought game by 2. Neither team deserved to lose tonight. They both played very well. But for Petaluma, their VVAL tournament dreams are over. NCS hopes are still alive. Petaluma has qualified for NCS by way of a winning record against Division II opponents. But they are very much on the edge of the NCS playoffs as they look towards Monday. Meanwhile, for Napa, they go to 15-10 overall, 6-5 in league. And depending on how Justin Siena does tonight, they are facing Casa Grande. They very well might be alone in third place. They will face the Gauchos. Napa will. If they win, they will assure themselves third place and a chance in the VVAL tournament, potentially against Casa Grande. Napa also on the edge of NCS. A victory tonight will help them qualify for NCS Division I. Final score, the Napa Grizzlies 53, the Petaluma Trojans 51. What a game, what a finish. It was a thriller tonight. We do want to give you an update from the boys soccer field before we go off the air tonight. 1-1 the final score for Petaluma and Napa. And Trojans were blown out by Napa, the varsity boys soccer team, so nice performance by the Petaluma boys soccer team. They have drawn back-to-back games after they had a 6-game losing streak. A good way to finish the year for the Petaluma varsity boys soccer team. They have 2 games remaining next week. Well, to recap that for you, we are going to have no interviews tonight. We're going to save those for senior night, which is on Monday night again. We'll be live. A crazy one here tonight. Trojans had no hangover from one of their biggest victories this decade over Casa Grande on Tuesday. They opened with a 7-2 run. The Grizzlies went on a 10-0 run to take a lead. The Grizzlies led by 10 for most of the first half. However, Shireen Eric had a huge first half, 12 points. Cut the lead to 2. Petaluma turned the ball over a lot early, but as the game went on, did much better job taking control of the ball, getting their offensive rhythm, and their defense was dominant, especially in the third quarter for Petaluma. Napa had no chances to score early in the third. They had no points in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. Petaluma defense was dominant. They went on a 7-0 run. And it kind of looked like it might be a replica of the Gaucho game on Tuesday night that Petaluma won, where they went on a run in the third quarter. But the difference was Napa responded. They hit a couple big threes using their senior experience to claw their way back. And they tied the game up early in the fourth. And it was back and forth in the fourth. Petaluma had the lead, though, for most of it. And for the Trojans, you look back, the difference in this game was 3 throws and turnovers. The Trojans could not solve the press of Napa. Napa ratcheted up their half-court press. They changed their strategy a little bit in the fourth quarter to have a lighter press that was more along half-court. The Trojans could not pass the ball over the Napa defense with 3 defenders standing up at the timeline, and the Trojans were having to take it down the right side and try to clear it. I would say they had less than a 50% success rate in the fourth quarter when Napa had time to get into its press. that made the difference, and free throws made the difference. Petaluma didn't shoot great from the free throw line, and they haven't all season long. Napa shot much better, just led and made a key free throw to tie the game. And at the end there, Petaluma couldn't turn the ball over. They couldn't give Napa an opportunity, and they did. They had back-to-back turnovers in the last 2 possessions. It gave Napa an opportunity to win it. Petaluma got lucky, really, with the call on the baseline, but they gave it right back to them. And in the end, for the Trojans, it was turnovers. In the end, unable to break the press. That cost them, and it's been all year long. The turnovers that have been frustrating, and frustrating for Petaluma. It's remarkable, but this is not their first game that they've lost by 1 point, not their second game that they've lost by 1 point, but their 3rd game of the year they've lost by 1 point, and they fall to 4-9 in games decided by less than 10 points. And we talked about poise. Napa had a little bit more of it late, shot free throws a little bit better, and the Trojans unable to break the press. A rough one here for Petaluma tonight. They played well, but there aren't any more moral victories at this point in the year. Once again, the final score, Napa 53, Petaluma 51. Big thank you to Bo Miller, who did a great job on camera night. Tune in tomorrow night, live at 7 o'clock, Varsity Boys Hoops. It's senior night as they take on the Napa Grizzlies, and it's our final boys basketball coverage of the year, so you do not want to miss tip at 7 tomorrow night. Girls basketball, our final live stream of the season, will be Monday night. It's senior night for them as they face the Sonoma Valley Dragons. For everyone here at Trojan Live, I'm Griffin Epstein. One final time, the final score in a thriller, Napa 53, Petaluma 51. Good night, everyone.